Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get to it. So, we've been talking about a number of different teams to win the NBA championship, to vie for the NBA championship. Brooklyn is doing what they're doing. Chicago has been a surprise to everybody. To me in particular, I had them before the season started. I had them at 8. And the reason why I had them at 8 was because I was concerned about what they were going to be defensively, and they've already answered that bell, and they've done a phenomenal job at that. I think that DeMar DeRozan, if he continues to play the way he's playing and the Chicago Bulls continue doing what they're doing, we have to seriously consider him in the MVP votes. We have to seriously consider him in the MVP talk. Golden State, I expected them to be better this season. I didn't expect them to be this good. I had them at 4. I had them at 5 to start the season. And I had Phoenix at 4, only except they're at the top of the West. So we've had some teams. We've had some teams be surprises. But the biggest surprise that I've had this season is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I am floored by what they've been doing lately. So we're talking about a team who's, as of right now, they're the hottest team in the NBA. They've won their last 6 straight, 10 of their last 12 games, including their last 6 straight. They got 8 guys, count them, 8 guys in double figures. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the game. That front line with Jared Allen and Mobley, if they can hold this group together and they can grow together, I think that they're going to be something. Because I think Mobley is quite possibly a franchise player. I think that he's absolutely somebody you can build it around. And if they can hold this group together, I think that they're going to be a force in the Eastern Conference for years to come. When I look at Darius Garland, I don't think anybody has benefited more from misfortune than he has. So Sexton goes out of the lineup. We're talking about a guy who was 25-4. He goes out of the lineup. Garland steps in. And not only has he benefited from Sexton being injured, because now that's more minutes for him, but he's also benefited from having Rubio. So now he's got a vet to push him. And that's crucial for young guys. Because when I come into the game as a pro, I'm not a pro. I have pro potential. It's the job of the organization to teach me the pro game. And one of the main ingredients with teaching a pro game is having vets. And to have a guy in that Cleveland Cavaliers organization like Rubio, a legit vet, to show him the game, to push him at the point guard spot. Darius Garland has gotten so much better. We're talking about a guy that's, I think he's 19, 18 and 7. And he's been a much better distributor this year. His defense has gotten better. His decision making, not just in the half court, not just in transition, but in the clutch. They've won a lot of close games, primarily due to his decision making. I think that they have some of the best rim protection in the game in Jared Allen and Mobley. I wasn't particularly happy about bringing in Markin early because I thought Isaac Okoro was a guy that was a great piece for them. And I thought bringing in Markin was going to stifle that. Only except it hasn't. He's actually been really good for them. And I do think that moving forward, at some point, he could be a starter and a really good starter on that team. I like the direction that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going in, man. The way that they've built that team, because that's what happens when you're playing in a small market like Cleveland, Minnesota, Oklahoma City. You have to build it through the draft because you're not a destination city. So you're going to have to build it through the draft and you're going to have to build it through trades, which means that you're going to have some really smart GMs. You have to have some people who know what they're doing. And it looks like Cleveland, it looks like they know what they're doing. They're third in the East right now in an Eastern Conference, which has gotten a lot tougher this season than it's been in years. The Eastern Conference hasn't been this tough in years. We're talking about a conference where you're not really separated that much. You're not separated that much at all. And, since we're on the subject, I'm glad you mentioned that. Since we're on the subject of destination cities, small markets. I think Jordan has done a great job with LaMelo Ball and what that group is doing. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who don't pay attention to the Charlotte Hornets and what they're doing. I actually am paying attention to them and what they're doing. And I love what LaMelo Ball brings to him. I think that Jordan has his franchise player. I think he's got a guy in LaMelo Ball that he can build around. I'm digging Bridges, getting better and better. I think that they're a legit playoff team. The catalyst for them staying afloat and getting better was Gordon Hayward, because him last year, they were on the fringe of being a legit playoff team as opposed to a team that was in the play-in tournament. Gordon Hayward being in and out of the lineup, I think that hampered them. Him being healthy, that vet that they need, which I just got finished talking about, that Rubio's been a difference in Garland getting better. I think that Gordon Hayward, I think he's helped Miles Bridges get a lot better as well. And I just like what that group is doing, man. I like what they're doing in Charlotte. I like the direction that they're going in. And I'm going to take it a step further than that. I think LaMelo Ball is going to start in the All-Star game. When I think about a guy who's almost 20-10, we got a legit playoff team in Charlotte, and his popularity, when you talk about a guy that everybody knows, his popularity is through the roof. And that's what the starters are about. That's all that the starters are about. It's about popularity. And when I think about what LaMelo Ball brings in terms of popularity, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's why I think he's going to be a starter in the All-Star game. So when I think about the rest of the league, I still think that when it comes down to the end, I still think that the NBA championship goes through the Milwaukee Bucks. I still feel like that to this day. They've been banged up. They've been decimated by COVID and injuries. But the entire league has. But they've still been able to stay afloat. They are a game and a half out of first place in the Eastern Conference. Giannis is playing at an MVP level at 27 and 13. 27 and 11. And he's still playing at an MVP level. Drew Holiday, I still feel like this. He is the best perimeter defender in the game. I felt like that for the better part of 4 years now, and I still stand on that. I see what Brooklyn is doing, and I understand why they brought back Kyrie Irving. I do understand why they brought back Kyrie Irving. This team, there's a lot of uncertainties in the future. James Harden comes off the books at the end of the season. Kyrie Irving, they took his extension off the table. So we're looking at a group where this may be a completely different group next year. So the focus is to win now. The focus isn't to win over the next 2 or 3 years. The focus is to win now. And if they can do this now, that's a good thing for them. So the thing that I'm concerned with the most with the Brooklyn Nets is the continuity issue, because today is Tuesday. We got a game. We're in Detroit tonight, and then we're in Orlando on Wednesday, and then we're in Atlanta on Thursday. But then we come home for 5 games, and we don't have Irv. And then we go back on the road for another 2 games. Now we have Irv again. So I'm concerned with the continuity issue that they're going to have. That's going to be the biggest thing for me. A lot of people talking about, what kind of stance Kyrie has made with this. Well, I think this is gonna definitely ruffle some feathers, because I don't think he's gonna get vaxxed. I do not think so. And when I think about Brooklyn moving forward, having playoff games and things like that, what is that gonna do for Kyrie Irving when they're playing in Game 5 and the series is tied and it's in their building and he can't play? So I'm interested to see how this moves. I really am. But as far as the Eastern Conference is gone, I'm really digging the direction that the Eastern Conference is gone. As far as the Western Conference, we talk a lot about Golden State. We talk a lot about Phoenix. We know that they're the cream of the crop in the Western Conference. There have been some disappointing teams, like Dallas hasn't been very good, and I didn't think Portland was going to make the playoffs. I said that before the season started. I didn't think Portland was going to make the playoffs, and I still stand on that. But I'm surprised. I'm very happy with what Memphis is doing. Now, I mean, they lost last night. Ja just got back in the lineup, but I'm very happy with what they're doing. Absolutely. I think that they also, like Cleveland, have a very good young core, and they're building that thing around Jaren Jackson, Ja. Those are the guys that they're building that thing around, and it looks like it's working. I think Dylan Brooks is a better version. I think he could be a better version of Tony Allen, and if he continues to improve, I absolutely think that he could be a better version of him, except he could score it a little bit more. And I like the direction that this Memphis team is going in. So I'm really interested to see what's going on moving forward. So it's good to talk to you guys again, and I'll see you soon. Until then, take it light, but take it.